Hi, I'm Dr. Bertice Berry, and I want to tell you a story. We had just come out of church. My girls had driven in separate cars. They'd gone on to have dinner, and I stayed home and studied some more and then went on, and it was a great time. So we're leaving. Two guys walk up, and they're like, hey. And they're like my girls' ages. So I'm like, oh, they're talking to them. So they said, can you give us a ride? But we don't know where we parked. And you could see they had been walking around a while and trying to find their cars, and they couldn't find their car. So they're like, "Can you just give us a ride so we can find it?" And I said, "Oh, my loves, I'm sorry. It was St. Patrick's Day weekend, so a lot of people were lost." So I said, "No. If you knew where you were going, we could assist you along your way, but you don't know where you're going. So how can I help you get there?" They looked at each other. You can tell they've been drinking because everybody in Savannah this weekend was drinking, except for the people coming out of church. And they looked at each other and they were like, "That's deep. That is deep." So, I'm really assuming they're talking to my girls. So the guy was like, "Well, you, so what are you doing?" And I was like, "You're not talking to me." And I said, mm-mm. These right here, these are my daughters. And so he was like, "Those are your daughters?" And I was like, "Yeah. I'm not like their buddy. I'm their mom, and you're not getting in their car. You're not." And so they were like, so he was like, "Well, I need to be talking to you if these are your daughters, because I'm older." And I was like, "Young man, my shoes are older than you." He said, "How old do you think I am?" And I was thinking 45, so I said 35. So he was like, "I'm 42." I was like, "Okay, that's nice. I'm 62." And so he was like, "What?" And so he looked at the girls and he was like, "Y'all come from good stock and you look good now, but you really gonna look good in a minute because clearly she's of that generation that gets better like wine." And I was like, "I still ain't taking you to where you don't know where you going." So they said, "Okay, okay, okay, thank you. Can we have a hug?" I was like, "Yeah, see this church? We just came from this church right here. We love you. God loves you. Be safe. Get home. Figure out where you're going. Get an Uber to where you're really going." They were like, "We ain't had that much to drink." And I was like, "You don't know where you're going." So, a lot of times people want a guide. They want assistance to go to where they're going, but they don't even know. And before you go looking for a mentor, a sponsor, a guide, a life coach, go to the therapist and figure out who you want to be, or go inside yourself. The beautiful thing about that service was we had this Lenten prayer, this time together of going inside ourselves so that we could come out and see one another and know that we always belong and that we are loved and we are always going to be loved. And knowing where I'm going, just knowing where I want to go, is half the battle. Finding the right people to help you get you there is the other, or at least to go with. I love you.